up, could cannabis be the answer to the opioid crisis? We're checking out a new program letting doctors prescribe it instead and how it's working for one man who made the switch. And first it was plastic straws, now a big name brewery is getting rid of plastic drink rings. We have an inside look at what it's using instead and the added benefit beyond helping the environment. And we also always hear just so much about how we should have saved for an emergency situation, but having that emergency savings account, it can be hard to do. Now there are some businesses trying to help with that, the extra incentives that they're offering to get people started.
Thank you, Chris. I'm Amanda Starantino, and this is the Now Indy on RTV6. From hamburgers to pizza, kids have a lunch every day at school. But while out on break, getting a good meal can be hard to find. The faith community is working together to ensure our students get healthy food over the summer. Working for you, our Aaron Lish has the story on how they're keeping them fed and how you can help or get help.
This sign outside St. Paul AME Church says it all.
Come on by and get a meal.
Local pastors team up and are providing hot lunches for any and all kids.
They're wholesome meals, and there is a need for healthy meals during the summer.
Data from No Kid Hungry in Indiana shows only 14% of kids who have free or reduced lunches at school are getting summer meals. To help out, the church is serving about 250 kids a day.
We want more to come. There's never not enough.
The menu changes every day.
Broccoli, chicken, and corn.
And the kids are loving it.
The favorite thing that I ate is corn.
It's also taking off financial pressure.
It feels good because I don't have to pay for anything.
Reducing the stress on families.
Wow, I didn't know about it till I got a phone call. So I came to take advantage of it so I wouldn't have to fix lunch. I think it's a great idea.
23% of Hoosier students struggle with hunger, and the church hopes to change that.
I think my greatest gift from this is when the children come back and say, "Can I have seconds?" And I say, "You can have thirds if you want."
These kids are appreciating the work of the volunteers.
I will say, good work, ladies.
And grateful for this meal with every bite.
I'm thankful for the food.
Along with the lunches here, you can text food to 877-877 to find the closest free meal so your student can enjoy their summer with a full stomach. Aaron Lish, RTV6.
Aaron, thanks for sharing that story. And St. Paul AME Church is also asking for backpack donations so they can give out bags to each student that comes for lunch. We have a link on where to find free meals for kids and info on how you can help this summer through this story on the RTV6 app and on the IndyChannel.com. Kevin.
And of course, it's county fair time right now, but you're looking at the Indiana State Fairgrounds with our tower cam. And it always amazes me how many downtown trees there are. Isn't that amazing? All of that green canopy between downtown and the fairgrounds at 38th and Fall Creek. Lots of sunshine in spots this afternoon, but that's helped build a couple additional thunderstorms. Indy's at 77 now, almost to 80 degrees, and Kokomo, Bloomington also 77. Everybody with the southwest wind. We can pick our spots. There's 1, 2, 3 different areas to check out. We'll go to the north. This is north of Logansport. As it rolls to the east, we'll catch the northern portion of Miami County, north of Peru toward Denver. We come back into central Indiana, North Salem and Hendricks County toward Liston, Pittsboro, Brownsburg, maybe right along 36 toward Danville and Avon as well, and then a couple other hit and miss areas west of Spencer and southwest of Bloomfield. Through the evening between 9 and 11, we'll start to see those fade away and move off to the east. Our temperatures tonight stay rather mild. It will be a slow decline down to 63 by tomorrow morning.
Today, President Trump signed an order to put economic sanctions on Iran. Iran shot down a U.S. drone last week. These sanctions limit Iran's supreme leader's ability to access what are called financial instruments. Now, the Treasury Secretary says these sanctions against Iran, they have worked in the past. Democratic presidential candidates are zoning in on student loan debt. Senator Elizabeth Warren announcing a plan that considers borrowers' income. And today, Senator Bernie Sanders unveiled new legislation that would eliminate all student debt. It's called the College for All Act. Now, on average, borrowers would save about $3,000 per year. Senator Sanders said the price of tuition has changed in the past 40 years without relief for students.
It is simply not acceptable that our younger generation, through no fault of their own, will have a lower standard of living than their parents, more debt, lower wages, and less likelihood of owning their own homes.
Now, at least 45 million Americans would benefit from this plan. That includes people who went to trade school. If passed, all student loans would be forgiven within 6 months. Other lawmakers are also calling for a student loan bill of rights. That's due to just the alarming number of robocalls related to student loans. There were more than 11 million calls in May alone just related to student loans. That's according to the UMail Robocall Index. Now, Senator Warren and other lawmakers, they want certain reforms in the Bill of Rights for borrowers, like limiting when borrowers are subject to late fees or other consequences, getting private loans discharged if a borrower dies, and establishing repayment specialists who help borrowers from defaulting. Now, other states are trying to fight off scammers preying on borrowers. The state of Kentucky now issues alerts for student loan scams. The Better Business Bureau says call the lender directly to verify if that call came from them. A new executive order issued today would require hospitals and insurers to tell patients the price of a service before they get it. The new rules would also require hospitals to tell patients about out-of-pocket costs beforehand. And these new rules, they don't stop there. Health and Human Services would also look at how to regulate surprise billing, which happens when an insurance company refuses to pay and passes that hospital bill on to the patient. Let's get back to our lineup and a solution for people who are living paycheck to paycheck. Some companies are handing out cash to get people to start saving. The free resources available ahead.
Zaxby's.
Welcome back to the Now Indy on RTV6. A teenager who pointed a gun at police and resisted arrest has pled guilty to the 2 charges he faced. 18-year-old Carter Capel was sentenced today in Franklin. Capel received a pair of 545-day sentences, but with various credits, he'll only spend 79 days at the Johnson County Jail. Police were called to Capel's home off US 31 in New Whiteland last December. He was shot and wounded when officers say he pointed a gun at them.
We know a lot of people live paycheck to paycheck and don't have much, if anything, in savings. Now we're seeing more businesses start to help with that. More companies like SunTrust Bank have financial programs to help their employees build emergency savings accounts. Now, SunTrust is called Momentum On Up. Once an employee finishes the program and sets up automatic contributions, they get $1,000 to add to their emergency savings account. Andre Dyer was on the verge of foreclosure when he went through this program, but now he and his family are financially confident and are able to talk about money.
The worst time to talk about money is when you really need it, because then it's too late. So we got to talk about it now. And so we have very open and candid conversations. So again, it's just been a complete change of behavior for our household.
SunTrust also started seeing less turnover and higher productivity once employees finished that program. And now more than 200 other companies like Home Depot and Delta are using it.
It's really what it's doing for the individual. That's why we started it. More people have emergency savings accounts. About 40% of people were budgeting to begin with, and now over 80% of people in the program are budgeting.
There are other programs that help employees build savings. Split to Save is free for businesses. It encourages workers to split their paycheck between a spending account and a savings account. It's part of the government's America Saves campaign, which does have free resources for people as well. Now, the International Olympic Committee announcing today that Italy will host the 2026 Winter Olympics. Milan beating out Stockholm, Sweden. The committee said Milan's alpine environment will create the perfect setting for the Winter Games. Let's get back to our lineup here. We know that the opioid crisis and it has just made addiction a reality for so many people.
I was addicted to opiates for many years. I started back in the early 2000s after a car accident that had this bag full of pain pills that looked like a Pez dispenser threw up in it.
He is now getting help from an unexpected source, marijuana. And next on the Now, we're going to check out a new program prescribing pot instead of opioids.
Up for only $89. For on time.
Communities across the country are trying to find an answer to the opioid crisis. Illinois is testing out a program that lets doctors give patients access to medical marijuana instead of an opioid prescription. And we talked to a man who says pot helped him get clean.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Be a Voice on Usula Radio. This is Britt Carpenter.
When Britt Carpenter takes to the air on his Philadelphia radio show, it's a chance to pay it forward, to talk to those dealing with issues like addiction, a battle that he knows too well.
I was addicted to opiates for many years. I started back in the early 2000s after a car accident.
To treat his injury, doctors gave him painkillers.
That had this bag full of pain pills that looked like a Pez dispenser threw up in it.
And like so many others, what was supposed to help him nearly destroyed him. Those painkillers leading to a heroin addiction.
Fell into a bad situation again, met the wrong person, and went down the pathway of hell for a few years after that.
Now, 4 years sober, and rehab was not his savior.
I looked at different ways that I can help myself go clean off the opiates, and one of them was, I did extensive research, was on utilizing cannabis.
He kicked narcotics with cannabis. For years, Britt had used marijuana recreationally, but this time, pot helped him detox.
I wasn't feeling as shaky as most people, or as I had done before when I tried to go clean. I wasn't sweating as much. I was able to have an appetite. I was able to gain almost 40 pounds.
As helpful as cannabis was for him, it is illegal in his home state of Pennsylvania. But now some states that have not legalized marijuana are realizing cannabis can be an answer in the opioid crisis. Right now, Illinois has a pilot program where doctors can give patients access to medical marijuana as an alternative to opioids. So far, 1,500 people have taken part.
We feel that this program is an opportunity for patients and for physicians to work together to have a different approach to the types of pain that an opioid was used to help those patients.
While Britt will tell you marijuana was the answer for him, he says it may not be for everyone.
I don't encourage them to just go buy the cannabis and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I had to sit down. I had to really come up with a plan.
Yet to those who don't believe in the power of this plant, he says give it a chance, to give others a chance in the fight against addiction.
If you don't feel it's the right thing for somebody that is going into recovery or trying to go clean off of opiates, before you balk at it, do the research, find out what's there, find out how positive the results can be, because I believe I'm living proof of it.
And with more than 100 people dying every day from opioid overdoses, it is important really for all of us to know how to respond to someone who is overdosing to try and save a life. The Red Cross has an online course that you're taking a look at right here to teach you how to identify the signs of a suspected opioid overdose and what care to provide for that person.
The most basic thing is call EMS, call 911. It'll have EMS come. If you don't have the Narcan, they will bring it, but it'll also give you guidance from them on what to do until they arrive.
Now, the Red Cross tells us that it's heard from hospitals who say they're already seeing the impact of this course. They've had people come in who have received care from someone who took the course, and you can register for it on redcross.org. The cost is $25. Now, a former Chicago City Alderman's unique argument to avoid prison time on corruption charges did not work. Now, we first told you on Friday that former Alderman Willie Cochran admitted that he took money from a city fund that was meant to help children and the elderly. Cochran and his attorney, they tried to convince a judge that he shouldn't go to jail because there had been a 30-plus other corrupt Chicago aldermen, many of whom went to prison, and that sending him there won't stop others in the future. The judge did not buy that argument or one that he was a good man at heart. Cochran got 1 year and 1 month in prison, which is actually 6 months less than federal prosecutors asked for.
Thank you, Chris. The president of Taylor University has announced his resignation. Powell Haynes' resignation will go into effect on August 15th. The school says Haynes' resignation was not encouraged by the Board of Trustees, that he has a strong relationship with the school. Haynes says he's optimistic about Taylor University's future, but did not offer a specific reason as to why he is leaving. And a huge honor for a Broad Ripple business. Travel and Leisure magazine named Nicey Treat as the top place in Indiana to get ice cream. And that's even though Nicey Treat really specializes in popsicles with unique flavors. Now, the popsicles come in both vegan and dairy varieties. Some of those flavors include cookie butter, banana cream, and pink lemonade. Each popsicle can be dunked in quick hardening chocolate, too. Nicey Treat is on the 900 block of Westfield Boulevard in Broad Ripple. That sounds good right about now, Kevin.
Temperatures go up, ice cream consumption, I'm sure, goes up as well. Okay, the infield is uncovered right now at Victory Field. They may cover it briefly for some rain in Hendricks County that's moving to the east. First pitch, by the way, at Victory Field, 7:05. See if this holds together, zipping quickly to the east. It won't stay in any one spot very long. From Linton through Pittsburgh to Brownsburg and then right through Danville. This will move along 36 and towards Speedway, Eagle Creek, and the downtown area. Very small area of showers southwest southwest portion of Owen County and southwest Greene. Larger picture, if you're wondering where rain is as opposed to where you live, there are still a few isolated thunderstorms in Illinois, and that will have to move through here. 9 o'clock tonight, still isolated showers and thunderstorms right through Indianapolis and areas to the east by 11 o'clock, and then pulling away. So could have some patchy fog overnight, but I think the breeze will be enough to keep that from being much of an issue. 10-degree temperature range from east to west, upper 60s in Wayne County around Richmond, almost to 80 degrees in Terre Haute. Through the evening hours, these isolated thunderstorms, temperatures will not change much between now and 11 o'clock. During the day tomorrow, dry from start to finish. Temperatures will work their way to 83 for the afternoon high. Other temperatures around central Indiana, low to mid 80s. The real warm-up kicks in Wednesday and beyond. The 4-day forecast is straight ahead.
Let's start the Now News feed. The way children act in kindergarten may predict how much money they're going to make as adults. Canadian researchers followed a group of people since they were 6 years old and found that those who were inattentive and boys who were aggressive and selfish had lower earnings as people in their 30s. Here's a good reason to have an extra cup of joe in the morning, because researchers at the University of North Carolina say it could help you lose weight. Their study found that coffee may activate fat-fighting defenses and speed up just how fast we burn calories. Soon you could have your 7-Eleven Slurpee delivered right to you. The chain launching a delivery service today for public spots like parks and beaches. There are 2,000 places right now in New York and LA where 7-Eleven will deliver, and the store is hoping to expand to more locations. New appliances are expensive, and the trade war has driven up prices as well. So we want to help you find the most reliable brands. Consumer Reports just came out with these rankings. It looked at more than 381,000 kitchen and laundry appliances that people bought between 2008 and last year. Now, some brands that you may not expect actually were top for reliability. Number 1, Speed Queen. That was followed by Miele, IKEA, and LG. Consumer Reports does warn that even though these brands, they were found to be the most reliable, not every model they make is good, so you want to take a look at the reviews before you buy. And before you buy anything, you also want to consider making your current appliances last longer. Experts from Mr. Appliances tell us that you should, especially with your dishwasher, check the filter, clean it regularly, and keeping that filter clean also very important with the refrigerator, washer, and dryer as well. Now, there are 3 things that you can do to make your washing machine last longer. Keep coins and everything else out. That damages the washer. Also, don't overfill the washer, and don't use too much detergent or fabric softener. That will leave residue that will then get on your clothes. You obviously don't want that. Now, you might notice more pets on your next vacation. More than 3/4 of Americans are taking their dog with them on a road trip this summer. Travelocity doing this survey. Now, it mapped out some good dog-friendly routes and dog parks and picture-worthy landmarks. A warning with this, traveling with your pet can get expensive. People say they spend an extra $500 on food, hotels, and activities. Now, speaking of dogs, we just have to say a quick congratulations to Scamp the Tramp. That is the new world's ugliest dog. Former stray, rescued from the streets of Compton, now a full-time community service dog. He visits schools and senior centers, even had his own kissing booth for fundraising. Good idea there. We talked to Scamp's owner on Friday about the true meaning behind this competition.
It's all about advocating adoptions, and you don't need to go out and buy a dog from a breeder.
Now, Scamp's Ugliest Dog Contest win did earn him and the Humane Society of Sonoma County each a $1,500 reward, so congratulations. All right, next in our lineup, plastic straws, obviously getting a lot of attention recently, but now plastic drink rings could be next. We're going to go inside a big-name brewery that's working to replace them.